everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is off to a lovely start of the week. You guys, we have a lot of juicy tea to get through today, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. But you know what to do. Grab yourself a beverage and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. The oldest royal wedding dress is now on display in Buckingham Palace. This beautiful sequined gown was worn by Princess Charlotte of Wales in 1816 when she married Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg. Now, it has been a long-standing tradition that after the royal couple ties the knot, the wedding gown often goes on display at Buckingham Palace for the public to get an opportunity to see the wedding gown up close. Now, the oldest British wedding dress is now a part of the palace's collection. Now, this dress is joining the Queen's Gallery at an exhibition called Style and Society, Dressing the Georgians at the Palace. The gown is truly one of a kind with silver sequins, intricate floral details around the collar, puff sleeves, an empire waist, and a sweeping train. By the end of the 18th century, many royal brides started to wear white. This was a tradition, of course, that was started by Queen Victoria, but this metallic-hued iteration kept with the previous European tradition of featuring silver thread. According to the Royal Collection Trust, the sequin design is the only surviving royal wedding dress from the Georgian period. However, the dress has been altered from its original form because repurposing and recycling was a common practice during the Georgian era. Princess Charlotte of Wales was the daughter of King George IV and Caroline of Brunswick. The monarch wanted his daughter to marry Prince Leopold of Saxe-Coburg, a lieutenant general in the Russian cavalry. This was considered one of the most important royal weddings of the time. Charlotte was in line to the throne, expecting to take over as the sovereign once her father had passed away. Unfortunately, Princess Charlotte passed away in 1817, giving birth to her son. By adding Princess Charlotte's wedding dress to the gallery, the Royal Collection Trust aims to uncover information about the time period and encourage visitors to draw a connection to current fashion trends. This looks like a very interesting and beautiful wedding gown. The Princess of Wales made a surprise visit today to a baby bank and spoke of the importance of community initiatives as she helped to pack tiny baby grows. Now, the Princess has visited several community initiatives since her family moved to Windsor last year. The baby bank at Windsor was set up by two local mothers in 2015 and has since supported more than 24,000 families in Berkshire and Buckinghamshire. But despite being close to Windsor Castle, they have huge amounts of deprivation. Now, with the cost of living crisis, they have seen a dramatic uptick in referrals, with the team helping a further 300 in the first 3 months of this year, with everything from newborn starter kits to nappies, buggies, and beds. The Royal Mother of Three has long been a supporter of baby banks and has visited a number of sites across the country over the years. I think she looked absolutely fabulous, and here's a cute little video of her visiting the baby bank.
I'm not going to double check you out, don't worry. It's actually very hard. Some of them don't have labels in. This one doesn't have labels.
If they haven't got a label in them, we can't send it out.
Some of them are like,
really?
some of them are like right at the bottom.
Some of them
Right at the bottom, tucked down.
and the least uncomfortable place for a baby.
Yeah.
And that's the easy. So will you be looking for the quality of all the items too? And if you feel that something's not,
Any stains, no.
basically you wouldn't. Yeah. You wouldn't.
On the whole, they come in really nice and they're already labelled, but
Yes. Okay.
sometimes. So there's a double check as well because they go over there and then.
So the many faces of Meghan Markle have reappeared once again in the act of a desperate duchess who is desperately trying to cling to the limelight and her royal currency. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are in full swing Operation Upstage King Charles Daddy's Coronation. As I said before, Meghan Markle does not like to share the spotlight with anyone, especially the royal family. Now that we know that Meghan Markle is not attending King Charles's coronation, we are going to see and hear more about Meghan Markle than we ever have in the past 3 years. She is on full alert, full smear campaign to make it about me, all about Meg Z. And to prove my point, we've already had 2 appearances in less than 48 hours. So the disappearing Duchess has reemerged with a brand new face. Again, it is the many changing faces of Meghan Markle. Every time we see her, she looks different. I don't know what she does, what she plucks, what she pokes, what she fills, but you can tell money was well spent because girlfriend literally is morphing into J-Lo. Seriously, it's like first it was Julia Roberts, now it's J-Lo. She has the same hair, she has her lips plumped, she even is wearing a pair of contacts to change her eye color. Again, do what you gotta do, girlfriend, but it's very desperate how you're trying to cling to the limelight and steal everyone's thunder because everything is about Meghan. And again, their royal currency is falling fast. Even though there's a large group of people who still follow them, who still cheer for them, in my opinion, there's a lot of people who secretly cannot stand the two, especially in the upper class circles of high society and Hollywood. But people are afraid to speak out against Harry and Meghan. Case in point, Mia Farrow said on Twitter, I just got to say I'm sick of Harry and Meghan. And she quickly had to delete her tweet because she was getting trolled. In my opinion, there's a lot more people who have that same opinion about the duo from Montecito. But we all know the royal currency is tanking, and Meghan Markle is desperate to stay relevant, to stay in the limelight. So in my opinion, over the next 10 days, we are going to see and hear more of Meghan and Harry than we ever have, because they definitely want to have all eyes on them. And she is going to pull out all of the publicity stunts and puff pieces that you can imagine. Now, she just showed up to introduce her BFF photographer, Misan Harriman, for his TED Talk, which didn't look like it was that interesting. And she shows up on the screen to literally no applause. Literally no applause. But Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, where she introduces him for a TED Talk, because literally that is what she is reduced to, a TED Talk for a photographer. Yeah, that's the big event that Meghan has to show up for and get the Botox and the lip injections and the hair extensions for her 5 minutes of fame, because she's desperately trying to hold on to that limelight. Then we show the Sussexes showed up yesterday at the Lakers game with the Archwell staff. Now apparently they were in some kind of private booth with their staff that cost upwards of $15,000. Again, they don't have any real friends, so they got to bring their staff. So she shows up wearing this pink 2-piece linen suit. And not to be critical, but she looked like a rumpled mess. This is a woman who was wearing a $1,500 suit, and she made it look bad. She makes expensive clothing look bad. Linen always rumples. This woman always looks like she doesn't know where an iron is located. So they show up for this Laker game and they're on the Jumbotron and people are like, kiss, kiss, kiss. And she literally says no. She literally rejected Harry. Here is the clip. It's kind of cringeworthy how they're trying to pretend constantly how in love we are, how happy we are. It's always for the cameras. Just like when they were papped at that exclusive restaurant right when the news broke that they were being evicted from Frogmore Cottage, they ultimately drive an hour out of their way to show up at this restaurant with the paparazzi who just happened to be there at the right time at the right place. I mean, are we buying this? Are we buying these staged moments where they knew that they were in this huge privacy box, that they were going to draw attention to themselves, and of course the camera's going to go on them? But again, the body language looked a little forced, in my opinion. She's definitely acting. She's playing the part of the loving wife. We're so in love. We're the salt and pepper and the peanut butter and the jelly. We are the greatest love story of all time. But again, there has been rumors that the marriage is on the rocks. So I find it a little bit of a coinky-dink that they show up all loved up at the Lakers game, which is a very public event, in a huge private box, surrounded by their paid employees, not friends, paid employees, and put on a display of affection a week before Howie flies out to King Daddy Charles's coronation, because we all know that Meghan is not attending because she's a strong woman of color who's making a statement by not going to the coronation because they didn't meet her demands. They didn't talk about the unconscious bias and the racism that's happening in the royal family, and they didn't acknowledge her personal woes and her needs. Again, the professional victim, the professional martyr herself, is making a political statement by not supporting her father-in-law or her husband, but standing behind to have a 4th birthday party for Archie, because she's such a brave woman. Really? Now there's news that there's going to be a star list affair for this 4th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese or the backyard of their house in Montecito. Well, I'm sorry, but who the hell wants to go to a birthday party for a child? Have you been to those lately? They're boring, unless there's lots of alcohol. But it seems like it's going to be a party more for appearances once again. I know, complete shocker. So I suspect we're going to have a huge amount of photo dumps right around the time of King Charles's coronation, featuring Archie and Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres and Tyler Perry and Doria and the maid and the gardener and the nanny. And Heeson Merriman is going to have some more photographs to be released out to Page 6 and People. This is going to be a very pathetic attempt to once again make everything about themselves. Now, as I mentioned, their royal currency is falling. It's going bankrupt. Okay, I don't care what people say, it's going bankrupt. People do not really want to associate with them because they're controversial. They're toxic. I mean, this is a man who wrote a book talking about his frozen toddler and how he applied Elizabeth Arden cream. I thought about my mom. I thought about my mom, and my wife is my mom. I mean, that's bizarre. Would you want your brand associated with this man who talks about mental health and magic mushrooms in the same sentence, and his wife sings to seals? Really? This is the man you want to represent you? I really don't see any huge deals with Harry and Meghan coming their way. Their reputation's in the toilet. They didn't have the greatest time at Spotify. They didn't have the greatest time at Netflix. His book is very controversial and didn't sell the amount that they said it sold. And we have people like Kayla Rockefeller, who just launched a brand new jewelry line, and she said she would never have someone like Meghan Markle be the face of her brand because she's, quote, too controversial. That's right, too controversial, and she couldn't take the chance on someone like Meghan. So like I said, people in high society, Hollywood, the deal makers, they really don't want to be associated with Harry and Meghan. Now, the people who are desperate for attention, they might hook their sales to Harry and Meghan because it will bring them a lot of attention. But what kind of attention are they actually bringing to your brand? So someone like a Rockefeller who doesn't, quite frankly, need Harry and Meghan, she's like, nope, I'll pass. That's what I'm telling you. The royal currency is failing. It is tanking because the only way these two have made money is by their association with the royal family and by trashing his family. And the fact that she's constantly a professional victim in the papers, it's not doing her any favors. In my opinion, that whole fiasco about the letter with King Charles has backfired in her face, and saying how she's living in the future, but all they've done is drag around the past for the past 3 years. These two have not cut the cord. Cut the cord. Move on. If you really wanted to live in the future on your own 2 feet, you could have done that in March of 2020, and you could have dropped your titles at the door. But you didn't do that, did ya? And you just gave your children a prince and princess title, but you're not petty. You're not hung up on status. You're not hung up on the past, right? That is the most asinine thing I've ever seen. So you guys, Operation Me, Meghan Markle and Harry is going to be blitzed all over the press. We're going to see them every single day. There's going to be major stunts, and best believe around the coronation, there's going to be some photo dumps, some big announcement. She's going to try to steal the thunder of King Charles's big day. Well, that's all the news that I have for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.